Derivatives trading involves substantial risk and loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Sorry about that. I was like, I started talking and I didn't hear anything. I was like, what the heck? So I started tapping on the mic. But it was just that my headphones weren't plugged in right. Anyways, how's it going? For the July week, this is typically a pretty slow week for markets, but we got that big G20 meeting that we've been waiting for so long, right? So, to the charts. I'm going to get an animation for that. I've looked into it. It was a little bit of work though. I think I need like a logo first. Anyways, so you can see here on ZB, they kind of closed the gap, but not like the exact gap. So I don't know if that matters. But anyways, they opened up significantly lower because of the G20 meeting, and now they've retraced it. I think it's a little odd. Because what was the result of the G20 meeting? Basically nothing. I mean, really. Was anything actionable? They're going to continue to work together. Right. Not a big deal. Anyways, you can see here the E-mini significantly higher. It's held its gains so far. And open up like that, the probability is either one, it comes back to 29.35, or two, you get a trend day up. Now, those are the probabilities. It is up so high though. I mean, let's come back to here. You are basically going to open above the all-time high. I don't know about that one, folks. Look, it's trading at the lower part of the upper range. I want to buy, but not sure if it will hold. Interesting. So yeah, that's where we're at. Let's get in here. So on the daily context, I'm thinking, it's the beginning of the month. Typically, we tend to still see a little bit of buying around the end of the month. And then it moved so far, I think that there's going to be some mean reversion. So I think that my preference is going to be long, but, it's probably also going to be a slow, rangy day because it's Monday. And the 4th of July, which is a holiday, it's Thursday, right? Got that right? Yeah, Thursday. Of course it's Thursday. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically the way you got to look at it. I think that it's going to be tough trading today. Let's bring that down. I had that all messed up because I was recording. Oh my gosh. So I did my political video for the week. And I took stock footage from the debates and I recorded it in my office instead of where I've been doing before with the whiteboard. And I am super happy with it. Yes, Independence Day. Will markets be open? No, not on Independence Day itself. And so it's on a Thursday. It being on a Thursday is like, so let's see here. I haven't even looked at the news. We have, final manufacturing PMI and ISM manufacturing PMI at 8 o'clock. That is also some important news because markets are going to be very quiet. It's also a bank holiday in Canada. Yeah. I'm probably not going to make any live trades today. Probably not. So, but I was just wondering, is the Thursday news going to get pushed? Yes, they are. So unemployment claims I see is on Wednesday. And then Friday we've got unemployment. Ugh. This is going to be a weird week, guys. You're basically going to have a quite, midweek 4th of July holidays mean no fireworks? No fireworks in the markets, right? Because there are definitely going to be fireworks if I have anything to say about it. Iran says Israel will be destroyed in half an hour if the U.S. attacks, apparently coming from an Iranian parliament minister. Yeah, okay. I can't believe that the stock market is at new all-time highs. Can you believe this stuff? Yeah, my guess most traders will go away this Wednesday, take a long holiday. No, because yeah, see that's where it gets weird is because you got to trade that Friday, right? That's the biggest number of the month is on Friday. But having the holiday just in front of it really messes up the week, doesn't it? So I think because you have a holiday combined with big numbers, I think what you're going to see is really frustrating trading that moves. At some points, it's going to really move, and you're going to be all, tricked into buying it on trend and then it come back in your face. That sort of a thing. I'm just warning you this is probably not the best setup for retail traders. I mean, if you're really good, I think you can definitely get lucky in this and make money. Somebody's going to come back and they're going to say, look, you said this isn't good action for traders, but look at how well I did. But somebody's going to get lucky. But, ugh. Okay, so what's going on here in the 10-year? Well, my thing says buy, so I guess I'll try it. It's curious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it was almost 11. I can see the currencies moved a ton too. The Japanese yen in particular is really correlated today. What about gold? Gold also appears to be somewhat correlated. Somewhat. E-mini and Treasuries seem to be disconnected. I'm going to blow my nose. There we go. And of course I come back and false breakout. ZB's doing that thing again though, where it looks like it wants to go higher. I don't know. That's not a good sign. I think kind of the action that I'm seeing right now is indicative of something that just isn't going to move very much. So, do people there in general blame you for using fireworks causing dogs to feel stressed? Well, my dog definitely gets stressed by the fireworks, but I don't get mad at anybody for it. I lie my own. Oops, my headphone jack here on my Blue is starting to go. I do my own fireworks, and I just think that my dog is silly. That's the way that I look at it. But you can get them a thunder blanket. Get your dog a thunder blanket; they'll be just fine. Who knows? Maybe this time we will get the dogs out. Now here's a key thing. Here's my goal, the message that I want to get out for this 4th of July, okay? Because we have these fireworks that can go up to 100 feet in the air now. All right, these fireworks are dangerous because that firework can fall over, and now all of a sudden you have a mortar pointed at your face. So if you're going to use mortar-style fireworks, please, please, please make sure that it is mounted to the ground in some fashion. My recommendation is to go and buy like a welding plate, like a flat piece of metal you can put on the ground, and then you can just use duct tape and duct tape the fireworks to that piece of metal. And that works great. I've done that in the past. Or you can just find a big rock for, big rock works too. But it's very dangerous. So please make sure that you have your fireworks mounted to the ground when you launch them. Yeah? Let's hear. What did IQ say? Could be a late day move in ZB, but I'm done for the day. Canada Day holiday here on Monday, so I'm likely not going to be back until Tuesday, just in time for the 4th of July day off. And John says, that is my plan this week. I'm planning taking the entire week off from sitting staring across the streams. I've stopped by to say hello. You'll all be back on Friday. Probably going to be a lighter week, though. You can even see it just in the viewership numbers, right? We're at like 8. We're usually by this point, we're usually around 12. That ADP number, that jobs number, or non-farm, sorry. What else do we have? What else about the... do you guys have any plans? I saw a bunch of you guys are not from the U.S., so I guess you guys don't really understand the holiday. Man, I've seen some good memes already this week. I saw a picture that was a picture of a Humvee with a mounted machine gun in the McDonald's driveway that said, I would like freedom and a side of fries, please. It was pretty good stuff. Yeah, this is not moving. Phones break out, completely dead. Maybe they sell 24. I don't know. The thing is if the E-mini turns up and says, hey, we're just going to keep going, which they may do, then probably Treasuries could come down quite a bit, don't you think? Did we get the date changed, by the way? Yes, we did. I feel like I'm missing something. I got the light on. Maybe the light's a little bit too bright. I don't know. I think I like it at 20%. Oh my gosh, I was doing the video. So one of the things I did in the video, here, let me show you. I'm really enjoying this camera. There it is. Let me just pause it. Oh, there you go. See, there's my face. See that? It's like, the thing is with it that close, maybe you guys don't really think too much about it because, you see me every day and all that. But when I'm not used to seeing myself like that. And it's like every little flaw in your face stands out to you. I was like, I need to even my eyebrows up a little bit. And probably should fix that deviated septum in my nose. Maybe a gray hair or two in the beard there. But it looks good, don't you think? It looks well edited. Dude, it's so great. Check this out here. So it's muted. You're going to have to wait until 8:30 when the video gets published, right? But I do like got the transitions with the B-roll film going on. So I went through all the effort of finding the right clips and stuff. I think I actually want to go back for next week and do like a video analysis sort of a thing where I show specific moments from the debate and analyze them, Yeah, so I got all the transitions and stuff. It was like when I did it and I watched the thing at the end, I was like super I don't know what to say, like super proud of myself. I don't know. It was extremely satisfying, which is not a feeling that I get very often. I think that most people get that, feeling of satisfaction when they complete a task. I don't necessarily get that, but seeing, what is essentially a work of art come together like that was extremely satisfying. That's better than I ever imagined that I would be able to get my videos on my own. So I'm super excited. So the video gets published, about when we end, so at 8:30. So make sure you go watch it, give it a like, give it a comment. We can, I think that this is a video I want to see how far it can go. So I'm going to try and push it hard. Boom, boom, boom. You look like an actor that I know in action movies. Well, I'm told that I look like a bunch of different people. I'm told that I look like Eminem and Dr. Niles Crane from Kramer combined together. But then I'm also told that I look like Moby. I guess I look like Moby because I have a bald head, but I don't think that we have that much in common. Actually, when I look at like specific features like eyes and nose and stuff, I don't think I've seen people that really look quite Bruce Willis. No. So I like my eyelids, where's the like I have weird eyelids. I think that's one of the things that's weird with my family. Like we get these bug eyes and then you get the weird eyelids on top of it. It's almost like I don't know, like Steve Buscemi eyes or something maybe. Not quite that weird looking, but that's something that I notice. Yeah. I don't know. I was looking at it and I was like, well, next time I do a video, I'm going to have to work a little bit. My wife was like, maybe you shouldn't do it so close. But I wanted the bokeh effect, Probably I need to get a different lens that has a shorter depth of field so that the background gets even more blurred than it is. I think that's what I really need to go for. Man, this is super dead. I'm glad that I actually am kind of sitting here wondering, why did I take that initial trade? Because I thought it was breaking out. Should have known better. It's okay. Only lost one tick. So I guess I should consider myself lucky. Oh, man. I'm just looking through my Twitter. I can see that the Utah Jazz made all of their trade moves, and Favors isn't going to be on the Jazz anymore, which is incredibly sad. So did you watch the latest Battle of Portland? Oh, man. Well, I saw the video of the journalist getting attacked. I was horrified. Absolutely horrified. It was, or was it on Hot Air? Hot Air is one of the blogs that I read. Pretty dedicated. Like everything on r/politics I read, everything on Hot Air I read. And I think it was Taylor Milliard was saying that the way that they were treating this journalist was really disturbing, because it's like if this was the right doing something, if the right had attacked a journalist, they would be all over it. Donald Trump is inciting violence against journalists, and you can see that his followers, his constituents, are picking up on the dog whistles, and they're attacking journalism. How many times has CNN tried to push that line of argument, that he's encouraging violence against journalists? And here we have an actual case of pure legitimate violence. I mean, not that the violence was legitimate, but a legitimate case of a journalist being attacked for no reason by Antifa, and everybody's like, oh, it's the journalist's fault. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. But it couldn't be. For those, I mean, I'm pretty anti-Antifa. All right. So for those of us that are anti-Antifa, this could not be a better example of why Antifa is dangerous, because he was minding his own business. He was just being a journalist. The only reason that they attacked him is because that film could be used as evidence against them, because they are committing crimes. He is not a right-wing journalist. He is very left-wing. He is he's a gay Vietnamese guy, so he comes from a historically disadvantaged group. I mean, the Antifa could not have picked a worse target to go after. And then he didn't fight back. He didn't do anything. He just left the situation, and they kept attacking him even as he's running away. That whole thing is just absolutely terrifying. And the media completely ignoring it. It's just appalling, I think. Absolutely appalling. Right-wing extremists will find an excuse on Antifas to execute their own attacks. Yeah, well, so something that concerns me is that when I look on the right, like in the Donald and so forth, people's first reaction to seeing that sort of behavior is that they want to strike back, right? And that's not what we should be seeing happen, okay? Guys, if something like that happens to you, you should just walk away. That's my opinion right now. I mean, there are situations where striking back should happen. There are situations where if your life is really in danger and you can hit back, will actually, save your life, then by all means you should do that. But the way that the media narrative is right now, if you're a Donald Trump supporter, you have to take the pacifist. What is the word that I'm looking for? You have to take the path of a pacifist. You need to think Gandhi. Okay, Gandhi knew that the UK, that the British government basically controlled the media, held all of the cards, and that anything that his followers did was going to be broadcasted as, bad and violent and evil and things like that. And that would be used as justification for further suppression against him and his activists. This happened many, many times where there was, some sort of a scuffle of some sort. And it was blamed on Gandhi and his movement, even though Gandhi was entirely peaceful. So if you're a right-wing activist and you want to have an impact and you're at an event like that and you're attacked, you should take the high road. Just walk away, get out of it. Don't look like a pussy, but don't strike back, because Antifa wants you to strike back. Okay? That's what they want, is they want escalation. So don't give it to them. They waddle their butts to Portland to get the crap beat out of themselves. Portland is an Antifa stronghold. You don't go there for street fights. You go there for war. Yeah. Well, I didn't see any other action, and I'm not too sure. The people that keep running this thing, the Proud Boys, I'm not too sure about. I'm not too sure about that particular group. If there's somebody that I would recommend being associated with or not. I haven't seen anything come out of them like specifically that I thought was bad or anything. I just think that some of the people involved are maybe not the brightest. There's no such thing as street justice in a court of law. Well, yeah, and that's the other thing, is that if you were to fight back and you won, you would probably get the law thrown at you just because you won. Yeah, it's Proud Boys and Patriot Prayer. Izzy says they're idiots. Okay, Bright Futures says, prove that you worked at Goldman. Okay, so Bright Futures, my name is Seth Ellis. I'm a pretty public figure. I post on Reddit as my real name. So what you can do is you can call Goldman Sachs and you can request a verification of my employment from there. So if you want absolute proof that I worked for Goldman Sachs, that's probably the best proof that I could possibly give you, is that you can call them and ask if I work for them, and they'll tell you that I worked there for 6 years. I don't know if it's particularly relevant. Like, I don't know. I guess it's kind of nice as a kind of like a name drop. Oh, I worked for Goldman Sachs. Yes, but I didn't work in trading. I worked in technology, so I know a lot of things about technology, but it's not like an incredibly important thing, you know? You know what I mean? He says he's on the line. Okay. They're good about that sort of a stuff. They'll tell you. It's funny. They'll tell you. They'll only tell you that the person worked for you. They won't tell you anything else because they're worried about, getting sued. They said you got the best coffee ever. Well, I don't drink coffee, but I do recall people saying that the coffee machine there was pretty good. People at my current work complain about the coffee, but most people at my current workplace don't drink coffee. I remember at Goldman they had the machine where you put like the little cup of the type that you wanted in it. I think they had one of those at one of the offices. I mean, it's always changing, and I'm sure it's different at every office, but man, somebody is just really selling this. That is a 5K iceberg now at 24.5. Anyways, Seth mails out his special bland to Patreon supporters once a month. It's good stuff. Well, so I don't drink coffee, unfortunately, I say unfortunately because otherwise I could help you guys all that like coffee and make good coffee. But I will tell you, for hot chocolate, the best hot chocolate is to get the Swiss Miss dark chocolate and make it with milk. Oh, that is the best. Another thing you can do is if you go to like the dark chocolate aisle, there's this what is the name of the brand? I don't remember what it is, but it's like Honduran chocolate. And apparently what they do with this chocolate, or at least what it says on the package, is that they go through every chocolate bean and they hand pick the chocolate beans. And there's something about the way that the beans are shaped or something like that, so that they can tell if the bean will be bitter or not. And so they take all of the bitter ones out. So it's like really, really dark, rich chocolate, but it is not bitter at all. It's really good. I kind of want to make dark hot chocolate out of that one time and see how it goes. Jason Statham, yeah. It's funny that bald guys do well in action movies. Maybe that's what I should do, is I should start an action hero career. I don't think so. It was like I was saying again, it's I know that it's not a big deal. But, when I look in those videos, I can see my face, and it's all of a sudden, it's like, I can see all of the imperfections, It's like, okay, this eye is not quite as big and as open as this eye. My nose is kind of messed up because I have a deviated septum, so it's a little bit off, the little things like that it's just like, I think my head is pretty shiny though. I mean, you don't think that do you think that the head needs wax? Because I have shampoo that specifically prevents my head from getting super shiny. It still has it's still matte, but that's what matte looks like, I guess. I don't know. You are human, bro. Own it, right? That's the whole thing. Is like, I look at it and I was like, I know it's not a big deal. In fact, I'm pretty sure that people just don't notice. But when you see yourself with that much detail on camera, it's really jarring for some reason. I'm going to bet that almost everybody has that reaction at first. It was kind of interesting. It was kind of so then I was looking at it and was like, I understand now why in film they go through all of the effort that they do. I'm sitting here like, oh, okay. So if you, in this situation, if you were to put some concealer on, to, make your skin more look more clear, it would at that close up, you would really notice. Maybe it's worth doing. Except for that, I'm way too lazy to go and do that sort of a thing every morning before streaming. That would be dumb. But then you have to realize that, like action stars, they have the same sorts of things. Like, have you ever noticed that Tom Cruise has like one tooth in the middle of his mouth that's like off? It's like he doesn't, you have your two big teeth in front, your two buck teeth in front. He doesn't have that. He has like 3 teeth in the front, and one is like middle and offset. Once you see it, you can't ever see it another way, but it's it's pretty messed up. But most people don't notice it on their own. It's not a big deal. It hasn't hurt his career. It's kind of funny. Well, they did make 24 go offer, and quite strongly. It does seem to me that they want to push us down. At least right now they do. They still are probably going to want to get to 23 at least. I don't know what beyond that. Also, the E-mini futures look incredibly weird today. You see over here on my Vista chart how many white lines there are? It's not normal. So I'm just thinking about Brian Futures asking that I work for Goldman, because somebody asked me, I think it was in a YouTube video. It was in a YouTube comment somewhere. I don't know where it was, but somebody asked if I had done that, and I thought it was just really weird and out of place that somebody would care about that I worked there. I don't know. Maybe it's a conspiracy theory. Clearly I worked with them. I must be a deep state shill, right? I wish. Like if they would pay me to shill, like, I mean, it depends on what they would ask me to shill for, because there's certainly some things that I wouldn't shill for, but I would love to get paid to shill. That would be awesome. Okay, so now they are trading in a 23.5. So are they going to trade into 23? This is incredibly interesting. And they're iceberging at 24. 39, but they've ticked up. That's kind of almost worth going short, but I know that this is... I'm kind of tempted because I know that I'm on sim to go and take another trade, but I know that this context is really bad. Like, it's almost 7 o'clock, right? So the market could be even worse than it was. Don't want to do that one. I'm also tempted to come over here and take a short in the E-mini. But no, I think I would need to see something more clear. Well, the Treasuries did overdo it there a bit. So that might be a temporary turn. Or at least a temporary, like, holding spot. I'm just, by the way, I still stream to DLive, and I'm not, something that really bothers me about DLive is that when people post things, there's no way for me to know when it was, how long ago it was chatted. That's kind of annoying. And I can't connect it with OBS. Bill says, I hope everybody has a happy 4th. Yes. Be safe. Don't let any mortar, remember, anchor your mortar fireworks to the ground. Okay, last thing you want is a mortar firework tipping over and shooting at your house. And trust me, if you do not anchor it down, that will do it. People get lucky, but if you do them enough, it's going to happen to you. We did one time, oh man, we were having that problem. And so we decided, instead of anchoring it down, we put it in a bucket. Bad idea. Because the impact of that thing just made the bucket jump, and then it made it even more likely to tip over. And yeah, it was right into the crowd. I'm telling you, man, it's dangerous. Yeah, Bill says, been there, done that, ain't fun. Yeah, so I went to Home Depot and I got a welding plate. In the past, I've used rocks, but this time I'm going to do it right. So I got a big metal plate, and I think we're going to spray paint it patriotic colors and stuff. We built our own mortar racks. So you mean like you have those things like the mortar is just a ball, and you tape the mortars to like a table or something like that, and then you light it and put it in those. Is that what you're talking about, Uzi? Because those are real mortar fireworks. Those, man, so when I was a missionary, okay, I was about to go home. So this was like a week before I go home was the 4th of July, right? And I was in, where was I? What was the name of that town? Was that Tipton? I think it was Tipton, Missouri. It's like near Columbia College. Okay, so like Columbia College was like 30 minutes away, and then anything else that was actually like a reasonably sized town was like way far away. And like a reasonably sized town was like 15,000 people. So pretty out there in the middle of nowhere. But the cool thing about the middle of nowhere for the 4th of July is that they're allowed to basically do whatever they want with fireworks. And oh my gosh, do they go crazy. Just built a wooden frame box. They sell pre-cut HD PVC tubing for mortars. We have a 50 round rack and two 30 round racks. Oh man, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. So anyways, the first thing that they do is they have a Roman candle war. so it was like the whole town, a couple hundred people there, and there's just, like maybe 2-3 dozen guys out there in this field shooting Roman candles at each other. And they all came back like their shirts were all burnt and everybody had holes in their shirts and stuff. It wasn't just like, oh, that one guy, he really got slaughtered or whatever. No, it was a real war. They came out of there. You could tell that they had been in a Roman candle war, right? So that happens. And then they have like a real fireworks show. So, big fireworks, pretty professional fireworks, but not done by a professional. They're just doing it like Uzi talks about. You have like a rack and you put it on the table and, you light the firework and then you put it in the tube. And so they're doing this fireworks show and it's looking really good. Well, every once in a while, you'll get a dud. So what will happen is it will jump up and just go boom right in your face. So you kind of got to be careful about sitting there right in front of it. Like if you're going to do that, please have eye protection. We wire our own shots. Okay, that's the way to do it, right? So wire it so that you can launch it from far away. But these guys were just dropping it in. So one of them went and literally exploded like right in this guy's face, and he actually got hit. I don't think it hurt his vision, but he got hit in the eye. He had to get stitches. So that happened once, and they keep going, and it happens again. But this time the firework goes into their finale box. So the whole finale box goes off at once. And we're like, literally 10 feet away from this, right? Just fireworks going off on the ground everywhere. And I mean, they had a big box. Just absolute total chaos. And then that was it. Then the event was over. Because the whole finale box was gone. And, out in the country, and then I come back to Utah and they have so many restrictions and stuff. I don't think that any 4th of July will ever top that 4th of July out in the country. It was good stuff. I mean, like we buy hundreds of yards of fuse to link various mortar shots together with specific timing and stuff. It's actually really fun. Yeah, that's kind of what I assumed you meant. But that also means that like you can't use a particular mortar more than once, right? Not without having to go and put stuff in it again. But I guess you could be doing something where like you have a long line and you have like 2 of them and you put them all in this one and fire those. And while those are going, you go and you load another one. Is that how you do it? How do you get rid of time between reloading, or do you even reload at all? I don't know. Here in Utah, it's quite popular to go to Wyoming and get country fireworks that you're not supposed to do in Salt Lake. And police have gotten pretty aggressive about enforcing it, but it's still like you can just go to, like the schoolyard or something, go and light one really big one that everybody can see, and then, run off. We load the rack with 50 shots. Well, 50 is a lot. Then we have a mainline fuse that burns at a certain time and a spiderweb, different lengths of fuse that burn at different rates. Ah, I see. Ace, good morning. How's it going? So I'm going to be interested I don't think I'm going to take a trade today because this is just seems like bad action and it's a slow week and it's a Monday. I'm interested to see if Ace sees anything. I think let's see if he takes it the way that I was maybe suspecting that the equities go. What is his propensity here? Does he want to go long or short? It's going to be interesting. Be careful what you wish for. Bond bears and stock bulls beware from Zero Hedge. Let's read that. Yeah, I don't know if that's an accurate assessment. So they're saying that, equities really liked the news that came out of the G20 or whatever, but bonds didn't move all that much. But I'm kind of looking at it, and I feel like that the move in Treasuries was significant. I mean, that's a pretty significant overnight gap. Of course, they're not below 127 again, but that's still a pretty significant gap. Okay, so I do see something in the E-mini. There was some strong buying volume and it topped off. A says also going on a vacation for a bit if I don't get in the room, and that is why. But this morning looks choppy. Okay, so I'm looking here for the rest of Lucas's little question here. I need some advice as of now. I work 6 hours a day and I recently got a really nice full-time job at another company. I told them I trade during the mornings and they allowed me to work afternoon. I don't know if it will be too much commitment as a trader who works full-time. Do you feel is really stressful to do it while trading? How do you find the time to work out? Yeah, so trading is stressful. Absolutely. I don't think that trading and having a full-time job with it makes it any more or less stressful. Just because for me, anything that happens at work pales in comparison to what happens in trading. There was that 1 week when we were having that thing and they weren't listening to us because we'd found a flaw in the software and they didn't want to listen. That was kind of stressful, but that was kind of more emotional stressful and not like actual demand stressful. So I think it's been okay generally. But how, the schedule thing, oh man, they're really moving up now in the treasuries. That's interesting how they that quickly to 25.5. Is it incredibly hard to see movement, but that move up might tell us that something's happening in the E-mini. Let's just, I don't think it's a good idea for me to trade, but let's just keep in mind 29.78, maybe you could have gone short. Anyways, but now the other thing is that the schedule is pretty, so, I wake up at 5:30, I trade until 8:30, usually get into work, 9:30 or so. And then I trade until like 5. And then I go to the gym. And then I do the gym from like 5 to 7. So I usually eat something before I go to the gym. Like I have a protein shake and something for carbs just before I go over. And then I'm usually done at the gym by 7:30. So when I'm done with the gym, I get home, I eat, it's time for bed, usually. And that's how we do it. Now, I think it works for me because I think otherwise I would get bored. Because what would I be doing with that time otherwise? I'll probably be playing video games or something. I guess I could stream video games in the evening. That would be fun, but I don't know if that would be worth it. And the exercise is very, very important, right? And it's not every day, right? I usually take Tuesday and Friday off from the gym. So it's just Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So 3 of the 5 days. I think I think it works just fine. When I have a week where I don't go to the gym or whatever, I get bored. So that's kind of how I do it. But I don't think that any of that affects my trading or it makes me too stressed out. Any temptation to trade full time? Ace asks Lucas. Well, everybody wants to trade full time, don't you think? But I think that to do that, you've got to have a bunch of cash saved up so that if you have a bad month, you still pay the bills, right? I think everybody would love to trade full time. I mean, heck, who wouldn't want to just stay home all day? We've talked about this before, but if I ever do get to that point, I think I would still need to have something. Like maybe I can trade all morning until lunch, but then in the afternoon, I've got to do something else. I've got to have like I don't know, a hobby, like a volunteer somewhere, something like that, right? Because, I would just become a hermit and sit in my house. That's not good. I think that I have to have a reason to be forced to go out into the world. I actually, last week they told me to work from home. But I was gone the week before, so I wasn't sure if that was still on. So I still went in and they basically said, oh, no, actually, we really do need this room. So just work from home this week. And yeah, I hated it. Not a whole lot got done that week either. I need 30K at least in the experience and track record. Yeah. I mean, I feel like just for me, I can have a losing streak of like up to 6 months, right? So I would probably have to have almost half a year's salary saved up before I would feel truly comfortable quitting my day job, That, or I would have to have enough in non-day trading investments, where I was living on fixed income or something like that. And then the 30K, I'm guessing that the 30K would come down to that's how much you would need to trade enough contracts to make enough money a month to live. Right? Because for me, I think you would need 10 contracts in the 10-year to live off of it is about what I would be going for. So you'd need at least $5,000, but then you have to size it up. Probably times that by 100. So for me, you had to have over $100,000. I ran some numbers and figured out with 30K I could trade 20 lots in Xeon, which is decent. Yeah. That would be pretty heavy risk, though. You could do it, though, if you're good, for sure. Although it's interesting, one of the things I find really interesting going through all of my stats and everything is that the vast majority of traders are one lot traders. The vast majority of orders. It's funny when you do the stats, there are so many more one lots on the level 2 than anything else. It's like literally like 70% of all orders. Just work backwards. How much do you need to make each month? And 2 points a day. How many contracts, right? 30K. Sounds like overkill. Maybe. I look at it from the perspective of if I had a drawdown, how far could it go? So for me, a drawdown is like $500 off of one contract, right? So if I times that by 10, right, I could lose $5,000, in 1 month. So I would need more than just $5,000 to do that, right? Adrian Miko, today could be a volatile day. Cash market smells some risk. Interesting. Well, I'm a little confused by the action that we're getting right now because there was some real iceberg holding us down and pushing us down. And then as soon as we hit that 24, there was some overdoing it, and they've been buying ever since quite strongly. E-minis not doing much of anything. I said 29.78, but we're 2 ticks above that, and we're only about not quite 10 minutes, 13 minutes away from the open. So pretty bad trading setup. But then over here in the Treasuries, they got a pretty good trend to get up here to 27. Now, the problem with this one is that they've gone from 25 to 27, 4 ticks, 6 ticks if you count the whole swing. And in this kind of range-bound action, that could be all you can expect. It's a strong trend, though, so maybe it continues. But I personally have a very hard time trying to buy in at 27, you know? Bids are building under ZB. Well, there's that 750 at 09. I don't know. The thing I am noticing more so in ZB right now is the stacking and pulling seems to be significantly in buyer's favor. True, I can live trading with less. I just thought if you trade with 20 lots, then one okay day could cover the entire month. I mean, until the world ends next week, according to Shalom. Well, ever since I told him off, he hasn't come back. I should feel kind of bad, but then I remember what he was saying, and I was like, well, if that's what you think, then why would you come here? Why would you? Oh, there's Kevin again. Did I miss that? His hi. So that thing I said then. Well, he said. Remember what happened was he said they're all clueless, and you're clueless, and I said, well, if that's what you think, then why are you here? That's what I said, and then he disappeared, and then Bitcoin crashed that day. So probably, it's because he told him off. But let's say for historical purposes, since, we get to control the history, let's say that he was so embarrassed by Bitcoin crashing that day that he never came back. Someone best recognized Kevin's target from Friday did get hit. Oh, did it? I don't remember what he posted. Ace, I don't know how you managed to take 2 points a day. I think I could probably, so I have my first take profit in my E-mini trade right now at 10 ticks, and 2 points is 8 ticks. So I can see it. I can totally see it. I would, but maybe what Lucas means is that he would want to go for more, right? And if you got one trade and it was good and you took the 2 points, then he would want to take more trades and push it. When Ace is like, I call it out in advance. What do you mean? He has a good point. We could all just mirror Ace's trades, and we could probably just live off of that. I just don't know how you do it, because I wouldn't want to copy your trades and jump to full-time trading with that. Yeah. Well, we still don't know. We still don't completely understand what his signal is. I have a feel for it, but It seems like there's something quite specific that he looks for. Kevin says it was along from 2933 to 2945. Oh, yes, that's right. That's right. And then we did end up going up. Kevin went long on Friday twice, so that we saw in his first entry was a little early. He was told the market would go down, and Kevin stuck to his 29.43 target. Yes, that's right, because I was shorting it at the time, and we had caught a pretty good short, and then it came back on us a lot, right? And then it moved higher. I use a combo of a dartboard, tea leaves, and spinning wheel, plus there is my CME guy. I'm right now, if it wasn't 722, I would be seriously considering going short in the E-mini. Because these treasuries have just come up a little bit too fast. There must be something to that. Especially the ZB doing it. And you're getting steepening. The 2 and 10 year spread is still flattening, but maybe treasuries want 29, for instance. Maybe the 10 year wants 29. ZB might be a better indicator, though, because it seems like there's some strong flow coming in there as well. So they would probably want 16. But again, I come back to equities are just sitting up there. We'll see what happens if I see something. We might see something on the open. IAEA says Iran's enriched uranium stockpile exceeds 300 kilograms. That's not good. Shorted it last night for 10 points and got out before it shot up. That VWAP bounce and CB could have finished my day off of 5 contracts, but no fill. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even realize that it was a VWAP bounce. But good catch. Hong Kong protesters flood into legislature building. Every time Bitfinex has been caught with their pants down in a massive fraud, hack, or cover-up, the price of Bitcoin skyrockets and people inexplicably and allegedly send billions of dollars to a blatant money laundering and bank fraud operation, says Bitfinex. Did something else happen? Money laundering. He thinks it's money laundering. So is Bitcoin moving? Yeah. 11,755. It seems like it's being manipulated to me. Anyways, a little zipper there too, nice and vanilla. Yep. He's talking about the trade at the VWAP. Although I was a little surprised by it just because they were really acting like they were really going to push for lower. They did they faked me out. That's the one that I always get wrong, isn't it? Almost any entry will give you 2 ticks positive. Yeah. See, I think part of what Ace is able to do is if you know what the range is, the E-mini ranges by 8 ticks. So as long as you're getting in at the top of that, you're extremely likely to get your fill. Kevin Campbell says it was a trap. Yeah, I think it was. So my question is, when we were down at 24, 24, 23 half, and there was some icebergs and all of that, pretty decent momentum to the downside. How did you recognize that that was a trap? Unless maybe you just got in when it ticked back up. But if you got in when it ticked back up, how did you know that it was going to go and that it wasn't just going to stay range bound? Because I stayed off of it just because of the context of the day is bad. It looks like 19 might get tagged. Having a little bit of trouble keeping up with you guys here. There's so many comments. Ooh, let's make this bigger. Actually, we'll do it like, how should we do this? Move this over here. Sure. And make this longer. Now I can see. You can do three things, two of which are bad. You get out if it's not going in a direction with a small loss. Almost any entry will give you 2 ticks positive. Lucas asks, Ace trades, do you feel that works with treasuries as well? No idea. Do you wait for the exhaustion of a move to match the trend and get in at the extremes, or do you like to jump while it's going? And Kevin says, I use pivots and structure. We were at support. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so here they are buying it ahead of the open. Here in the last minute before the open, they're buying it. That's a little suspicious, I think. I think that this first action here in the E-mini could be a big deal. Boy, I love being wrong so much. Me too. Being right isn't all it's cracked up to be, is it? Okay, there's the open. So we started at 29, 79, 75. Kevin thinks that the sell is coming. I'm looking. That's what I'm kind of thinking. The question is just, does it give me a safe spot to do it? Okay, so that open there is not incredibly inspiring. No. Yeah, it's literally opening above the all-time high. Isn't that crazy? Okay, well, there's some selling. I didn't get filled short. Oh, man. Kevin caught it, though. Good job, dude. You must have... did you mark it into that? If Kev sells work out, he should bring some upside to the bonds. Could. True. Although it may be the case that the bonds have already done their move. That move up in bonds was pretty significant trend. He did it with a market order. Good job. Okay. So this is where they're going to start buying it now. Well, it worked. It worked for at least 2 points, right? He says it, but it looks like it's working with a small stop. It does. It does appear like they did a head fake there, doesn't it? I'm not seeing like super strong follow through at the moment, but given the daily context and everything, I don't think that you should expect things to just like go all at once. You know, Bright Future says sweet guess. It could be. That's the second one that he's called that's been pretty good. So, and he calls them ahead of time and like totally proper. So I say kudos to him. Okay, so buyers are having a little bit of a push now again. Looks like that already got short-circuited, but it's just ranging. They could go for more. It'd be interesting. They're going to go for that high again. Could do. Clearly, somebody sees that I take a long on my screen. I'm going to want to go and get my stop. Treasuries seem pretty so they made new highs and now they're zippering at the new highs, which is, I'm not going to say it's unusual, but it's something that I always find peculiar every time it happens. I've seen it many times before though. And there's some pretty strong, that's that 28.5, 61.30 absorbed at 28.5. That is a lot at that location. I don't know if that's a good enough edge for us to take it long there, because you know, if they trade through it, then that might be a little bit too much and they might have to come back a little bit. But just the fact that somebody is willing to buy that much there at 20.5 seems very bullish to me for treasuries. Kevin says, I just sold at overnight resistance. So what I see right now is that the cumulative delta is short by about 1,000, which isn't a ton. And it's just kind of holding its spot. So treasuries look like they're already in meat grinder mode. Okay, treasuries ticked up, so that's bullish. And they're holding a big bid at 29. That one you can... That's enough momentum. It might be a trap on the upside, but where would they want to be trying to go to? Probably from there. Now they might want to try and make it to 128 even. They have it lined up pretty nicely here. They just need the 5-year to catch up a little bit, and it could probably go. Now, if it goes, will that push the E-mini over the edge? Kevin says I'm looking at 29.55. Wow, that's way down there, Kevin. Okay, you can see some orders hitting into 29.5 now. Okay, so I got hit but I didn't get filled. But look at how much they're building up there and everything. The strength of the trend in the treasuries kind of suggests a reversal day in the E-mini to me. Even though E-mini is not doing squat. Oh, look, I got filled. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. So treasuries, I'm not seeing a lot of movement in the cumulative delta, and it is able to move, with a point or so. So they could totally go for a new high. Why not? So at this point, I think that little test trade that I took there doesn't seem to be working out. I could have gotten a much better price at the very least. And they come back down 4 ticks pretty easily. Okay. Gap fill 38.2 retrace. Right now the market maker's just moving it wherever he wants. You see how easily they take it up a few ticks and then down a few ticks? That sell looked a little bit more aggressive. They actually sold through some pretty big orders too. Look at that. There's a 500, there's a 600, 789. Okay, but they hit back. Now they're selling again already almost 300. Interesting behavior in treasuries as well. I'm not really paying attention to this one, and so if this one doesn't work out, I don't know what to tell you. That's a lot of volume. Okay. There was probably too many retail people short from there because uh, that looked like a bunch of stops up there at 29.82. Don't you think? Well, now they're really starting to sell it, don't you think? The deltas at least are starting to look more negative. Did they release PMI? Not yet. No, there's at the top of the hour, right? Should keep an eye on that though. What are we looking for? We're looking for oh no, there's the final manufacturing PMI in 2 minutes. There's final manufacturing and there's ISM at the top of the hour. So for final manufacturing, we're looking for a reading of 50.1, and for the ISM manufacturing PMI, we're looking for a reading of 51.3. Either one of those could be bad. Well, that one that I took there was probably the original trade that I should have taken. Can you explain something to me? Why would it not be profitable to buy an option at, like, say, $1 with a $1 strike price and the stock currently trades R5, to buy the option, exercise the option, and then sell the stock right away? Why would that not be profitable? So I don't think that you can just exercise the option whenever you want, though, right? And the whole thing is that the premium that you pay for the option is going to be equal to the difference in price from what you currently have. So, if it's trading at like $5 and you buy an option to buy it at $1, you're going to pay $4 for that option. And so it still comes out to about the same as if you just bought the stock outright. But maybe you can. I don't know how the exercising options works, to be honest. But then you've got the other thing that is like, you might want to do it with options, though. Even though it won't be cheaper, there are other advantages to doing it with options because you can like hedge a certain part of it if you want, and that sort of a thing. So let's just see here. The way that this is starting to sell off is looking pretty dire. I really wish that I hadn't have screwed up on that first one. Okay, so the second would have hit. Someone says thanks. So I hope that's enough. I mean, just go get Thinkorswim paper money, and put it into the simulator, and you'll see, right? It's possible that if the stock moves the right way, that you could make money doing that. But if you just did it like right away, the amount of money that you would pay for the option would be more than the amount that you were able to buy it for cheaper. That's how they price them. $29.55 is what Kevin thinks it's going to go to. If it goes to $29.55, that is going to be something else. That will be super exciting if it does. I am. Oh, actually, you can totally do it because that's just where it opened at. Yeah, and that just going back to the open. Totally. Is there something? Can I see that far out? I can, and I can see some people down there. Okay, if it goes down there, totally, I'm all in. Pull out the cheerleader pom poms. I want to see it. I want to see it retrace. Well, they're giving them a little bit of, so I can see at 29.73 or so. There's a little bit of overnight support. So that might be a little bit of what we're seeing right now. By the way, my treasury trade, I did get filled on the first contract. So I think the way that I took that one was a little bit, you're not going to necessarily get the best price when you do that. It did go against it too, but it's still working. There's still a lot of volume trading up here at 30. That's the way that the treasuries are trading right now is the thing that gives me the most confidence that the E-mini could continue to move down. Like it's breaking the support. It's making a new RTH low. Oh, the number came out. What was the number? Didn't even notice. 50 spot 6 versus 50 spot 1. So it was actually a little bit better than expected, but they just kind of ignored it. 10 minutes to the ISM number. Construction spending and manufacturing prices. These are all important numbers. Today's dovishness unexpected looks strange to me. Kevin Campbell says break even trade. Did you scratch the first one or something, or did you hold on to it through that stop run? So they're getting close to that 73. This could get interesting because at a certain point, people are going to go, yeah, it's going to fill the gap, and they don't even try to stop it. You know what I mean? Oh, moved the stop to break even. My bad. Gotcha. That's what I did as well. When I was doing the math, scaling out with multiple contracts, that doesn't work unless you move that stop to break even, right? Because what it allows you to do is it allows you to let it run. But if you let it run and then it comes back on you and you take a loss on it, then your probability is not going to be good enough for that to work. Uzi says now 21 in ZB. It's interesting that I got in at 29.5 and it's been sitting there for so long. Well, this is a situation that I've been in a couple of times the past week, haven't I? Got a pretty good move down. I could potentially take it off at 29.75. But the trade is that it's going to return to, that it's going to fill the gap. I think that once again, I feel like I should hold it. So we'll see. Still kind of learning E-mini's behavior. This might have been a spot where you might have been able to take it off at 74 and then try and go short again. This, by the way, I want right here. Ooh, look at it go. Oh, not quite. Oh, yeah, I caught that 21 was, you meant the upside target when you said that, Uzi. I think though this this order size up at 128 is a really good target because there's actual size there, whereas I don't see any size on the ZB right now. Well, I do, but it's like way up there. It's like at well, there's 10, for instance. It's too far. Anyways, and there's also this 04 half in ZF, which might be which is, I'm not even going to say might, it's probably very likely that that is a spoof. Let's see if the 5-year picks up some upside momentum again. Okay. Well, they're pushing them in the E-mini. Are they going to push it over the edge again? Yeah. They pushed it. I didn't see a ton of stops that time. Okay, that time there was some stops. There's actually some, you could have gotten 2 ticks of slippage right there on that one. That would have been not fun. So that last sell in the E-mini was starting to get pretty strong. Now there's 7,000 contracts short. I might need to think about. Yeah. This is where I think you're going to get some pullback again. I'm also not seeing the 5-year jump back up yet. They seem pretty comfortable at 04. Okay, so we do get the news here in a bit, don't we? ISM 51.3 in about a minute and a half. Well, I thought that today was going to be a light day on viewership, but and it started out that way, but we've gotten back up to our usual numbers. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people are still going to trade the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Kevin says I want to add another contract, but I'm unsure. I don't know if adding risk on right in front of the news is the right thing to do. Why this could move anyway. Well, they're definitely pulling in the Treasury. Look at the way they pull on the upside compared to the downside, by the way. Where did my tweeter go? Okay, 5 seconds. Looks like the number was probably actually good. 51.7 versus 51 expected. That's not that good. Man, why did Treasuries move like that? I'm shocked. Oh yes, because there were other numbers. What were the other numbers? What was the prices? Manufacturing prices 47.9 versus 52.9. Construction spending negative spot 8 versus spot 1. Those are not good numbers. Like the manufacturing prices being lower than expected means we're more likely to move up. Construction spending being negative, that's also bad and means that rates could continue to go down. And the ISM number, well, it's 51.7, but that's not a huge change. So I think the Treasuries got it wrong. Well, if you could have bought it at 25, man. And I did get stomped out of my sim trade over there, but it was only minus 3 ticks in the end because I had already taken some profits. So this is kind of odd action. Must be something in there that I'm misinterpreting. I don't know. They could still close the gap in the E-mini, but at the moment, the way this is behaving is not encouraging. It's actually made a couple of higher highs. Could you give some information for newcomers? What are these 5 boxes? Is he trading on Bitcoin or alts or something else? Okay, so I'm trading on futures. Each one of these DOMs is a different instrument. Okay, 30-year, 10-year, 5-year S&P 500. Each row is a price, minimum amount that price can move, and the blue and red numbers are the number of buyers and sellers at each one of those prices. I do have Bitcoin over here too, but I'm just looking at the chart. They're doing some interesting stuff in Bitcoin today. It looks like it's pumping again. And be suspicious of this move in Bitcoin. That looks like somebody a little bit too desperate for it to move up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, even if it does go up, I'm not so sure that's a move that you want to play. But of course, I said that about the last move up, and you could have made money, so I don't know. Unownable Fair says, oh, okay, thank you. No problem. That's what we're here for. So I have a video here on the YouTube channel that's getting started in futures. That's probably where I would start. Has all of the basic information about like where the best education is and brokers and software and that sort of a thing. I also have a video, although the video is a little bit outdated, but I also have a workspace walkthrough where I kind of talk about that sort of stuff a little bit more in detail. But absolutely, if you have questions, that's part of why we do it here live, is so that we can bring in new people and get them on the right path. You think that the E-mini is going to do this or not? Algo's not sure if the better than expected ISM is good news or bad news. Seems like there was too many numbers. ISM better than expected, not triggering much bulls profit taking. Support holds well so far, perplex. Yeah, alligator's confused too. That's what I should say on there. Mm-mm-mm. Well, they are holding here pretty good. We are starting to get a little bit of a turn, so we'll see now if this is something that can move lower or if they've found their downside limit. We should go back to factor in the 4th of July as contact. Maybe that's what's causing this conflicting reaction in the markets. Well, the thing is, let me find it here. I was just wondering if there's other stuff, but there's not really anything on Tuesday, and then there's the normal Thursday stuff on Wednesday. So I don't think that that's a factor. The thing that I find curious about this is the strength of the move before the news. There was a move up in Treasuries from 24 all the way up to 30. I mean, that was a really, really strong, good, strong trend. And I find it a little suspect. I wonder if somebody was buying because they thought they knew something about what the ISM was going to do, or they were placing a big bet and it moved back down because they basically puked on the news. So it could be that even though the news wasn't significant, there was enough people positioned in it that got out that's why it moved the way that it did. You know what I mean? Now, if that's the case, you always have the chance of a lot of that retracing a bit and, them shuffling around. But we've already kind of done that. So there might not be as much opportunity in the treasuries now. ZB did hit the 21 while they didn't touch it. It's actually an unfinished auction up at the top in ZB. And also treasuries have not equities have not filled the gap. They bought a little bit off of the news. We'll see what happens. It's really unclear at the moment. They are starting to sell again. Yeah. I think we should. This is just a case where I would be a little bit cautious about making too many conclusions from what we saw from the numbers in the news, because the way that it behaved is not in line with my understanding of the numbers. And so until we understand why they moved the way that they did, I would be careful. ISM. Tariffs continue to adversely affect decisions and forecasting. Our increasing fear is that current trends will weaken the global economy, influencing our ability to grow in 2020 and beyond. So there's actually some things in the full report that aren't good. Demand for the remainder of 2019 has softened significantly due to issues in the aerospace industry. The 2020 outlook is looking stronger. Overall, state and local economies remain strong. Recruiting for the open positions still requires time to find the right candidates. Okay. Well, there was a little bit of a stop run higher in the E-mini that has now reversed lower. And you're starting to get a lot of selling again. And depending on how easily they get back down to the low, you might end up with some trapped traders at that point. So there was a little bit of a sweep lower there, and they're busting through big bids and again. So 2973 is showing some support, and they're pushing it. And they really fired back in that time. So some interest right here in this 2974 to 75 area. Remember, was a 10K iceberg at 26 when we came back? Are you still on TST? No. So, I haven't done that in a long time. So what happened was I kind of said, okay, I know that I can do this, but it has to be like the right conditions. So I felt that the amount of money that I would spend on the combine was much better spent saving it up, because I knew that even if I had the right conditions, it would take multiple months and all these other, like I did math, like I did straight math. And that was kind of what I was trying to say in my video about if you should take the combine or not, is that I think you will find that when you consider if you can actually, that you might not pass it the first time, and sometimes you need the right conditions, and that they really are asking for a lot, like really good performance to go live, that the amount of money that you spend, you probably could fund an account with it. So that's what I did, was I took that money and I put it into an account, and I traded it. And I've gone back and forth between trading it and not trading it. I've had good periods. Those good periods were way more than enough to pass the combine. Like when I stopped doing that, and I took it for December, and went from December to March, and I did amazing. But then I went through a 6-month period that was awful, right? Bright Fuser says I've been funded for 50 days and I took 2 months to pass the combine. Yeah, well, that's exactly what was my problem, though, was that for me, it was like 2 months and you're doing, what, I think it was like $150, So that was like $300 right then and there. And then if you don't pass it that first time, then you're doing another 2 months. And so then at that point, it was worth it for me to just fund the account. So that's what I did, and I think it's been working out better. Now, if we were back at that situation again right now, I would definitely say it's not worth it, because you can trade micro futures and you can just get live. I mean, well, let me rephrase. I do not think that the Top Step Combine is worth doing for experience. Does that make sense? If you're a new trader and you're looking to get experience, trade sim or trade micros. If you are a experienced trader with consistent profitable results and you are merely looking to leverage more money, then the combine is worth it. But that's kind of the dichotomy. That person that has that experience probably would rather trade his own account, and probably already has his own account to trade. And meanwhile, when you look at who Top Step tends to target and all of that, it seems like they're targeting the new people. So I'm not too big of a fan of combines right now, especially now that we have the micro futures. But I did have a period that it passed. So at that point, I was like, after I had that really good run of like 3 months, 4 months, I was like, okay, like I don't have to prove anything to myself anymore, because now the problem to me is the things that I think I have a problem with are beyond the combine. Like I could pass the combine, but then I would have a bad streak and I would lose it. You know what I mean? I think TSC is definitely good experiences. It keeps you from getting scared from losing your own money or having too big of down days. Yeah, well, and there's still, I guess the one thing that they have is that they enforce risk parameters on you, and probably a lot of new traders don't know how to do that on themselves, or what kind of risk parameters they should do. But that's where I say, fund an account, trade sim, and pretend that you're doing the combine. I don't know. I'm not going to say that you're like dumb if you take the combine or you're funded. I mean, if you can get funded, then you should absolutely go for it, because you're probably going to be able to swing more money from the combine than you would on your own, for most people, right? I just say what I do because I think that they're taking advantage of newer traders. I think that newer traders would be better off doing something else. That's all. Or maybe I would say like trade sim for a while, maybe try it once, but don't be going in there and doing the combine month after month after month trying to do it. Don't be using the combine as your learning experience. Use the combine to get funded. Yeah. Okay, so there was a little bit of, I wasn't even paying attention. When I took that trade long in the Treasuries, there was, I got one of my level 2 signals. So I'm happy that it's already up 3 ticks like that. I might just let that one run. So I'm a little bit more interested in what the E-mini is doing. Are they going to go for a new low or not? They didn't take a new low that time, did they? No, they did not. They came close. They may as of yet do it. I can see a few thousand contracts long as well. We don't have any more news today, do we? I guess I should double check that. Monday. Nope, that was it. Anyways, I think I might make another video about that soon. Because, I don't know. I like to say, like, you probably shouldn't do that, but I like, my recommendation is against doing the combine, but I don't want it to be like, oh, they're a bad company, or you should, it's not worth it, Personally, I find that trading at the money futures options is much lower risk. It allows you to hold overnight with no stops and fixed targets. The ZBs at the money is for 250, ES at the money for 125, a lot. Well, yeah, you know what, Dojo? I think that you present a good argument. So here's the thing that I would say about options on futures. I think that options on futures, if you want to make longer term plays, play that, if you want to swing trade, I think that options on futures is a very attractive way of doing it. And you're saying, 250 for ZB, 125 for ES. That's a lot more risk than I'm taking. The trades that I'm taking, I'm risking, like $50. So you will need a larger account. And also those brokers, like Thinkorswim, for them to allow you to trade on margin and everything, you have to have I think you have to have a $10,000 account. So I think that's the downside there. If you want, you want to just consistently come into the market and make a tiny little amount that's, the same amount that you make every day, and it's just like super low risk, very consistent sort of a thing, then I really think that the best thing is scalping. But that is not going to be the most profitable thing by a long shot. If you have the ability to hold them for swings, you are absolutely going to make more money. And if you have the ability to just invest in these sorts of things and manage a portfolio with futures, that's even better. Yeah. That's one of the things that I think newer people have misconceptions. They think that day trading is like the biggest moneymaker, and it's not. Rapid fire scalping has made more people broke than any other trade style. Probably right. Futures is probably right. I mean, what we're doing here, I think that part of the reason you do it is for the challenge. You know what I mean? You do it because it's hard, because you want to be good at trading, and because you enjoy the short-term action and the order flow and all of that sort of a thing. But I do not believe that it is the most profitable way of trading. Swing trading, you're definitely going to do better swing trading. For instance, you're definitely going to do better if you just pick 5 stocks and, manage a portfolio of 5 to 10 stocks. You can do really well. You can do really well doing that. And because stocks tend to always go up, you're taking on a lot less risk. But again, to really, do you want to trade or do you want to make money? Well, I want to do both, right? Don't you want to do both? Here's the thing. I mean, I like your question, Bright Futures. I really do. The thing is, if it was only about making money, there's so many other things that I could do. Okay. If it was only about making money, I would probably dedicate all of my time into, a private business of some sort. Because entrepreneurial adventures are always going to be the highest yielding things. That's where you can times your money 1,000 times over. Kevin Combo points out that it's a new low. I liked the way that it went. There was a few stops on the way, but there wasn't a ton. And the less craziness I see on the downside, the more confident I am that it can just continue to slow crawl down. Anyways, if it was just about making money, then I wouldn't trade. I would probably, try and be an entrepreneur and start my own business and that sort of a thing. But the truth is that I was born to trade. I enjoy trading and I enjoy traders. I enjoy doing this, coming in and streaming and talking with you guys. We have a group of about, I want to say 12 guys that really talk a lot, but we get up to 24 people every day. Viewership is it's extremely consistent. It's like the same group of people every day. I absolutely love you guys. I don't know what it is that makes me so lucky that you would listen to me, because I don't think that there's anything particularly special about me, but I'm just really lucky and really appreciate that that's what happens. And, I would, it would be like a huge hole in my life. Looking now that I've experienced it, would be like a huge hole, to not have that. And it's the traders, it's the traders that I enjoy. And so to me, obviously you do it to make money 100%. Listen, if you're not out there to make money, that's a problem, because you're going to lose money, and you can't lose money trading futures forever, right? That's just, you lose too much doing it. That's not a sustainable thing, right? You can break even forever and be okay, but if you're losing money, that's not going to work, right? But I really think that to be trading, scalping futures, there's got to be more than just the desire to make money. If all you want to do is make money, you're probably not going to make it. That's not going to be enough motivation to keep you going when you're not making money. It's not going to be enough motivation when you discover that, hey, there's serious disadvantages to scalping, and that might not be for you. You have to actually enjoy it. You have to have reasons, to actually do it. To me, I feel like that the skills and the community that we build, I think that those are all important parts of the market. So I feel that it is important for me to scalp. You need liquidity providers. And that was what I was born to do. You know what I mean? So that's my take on it. But thank you for asking that question. Kevin Kama says, glad I found that station. Well, Kevin, you have given us some interesting things to look at, and I'm glad that you're here too. I think that you've fit in quite well. I approach the wealth money thing with the barbell strategy in mind. You don't want trading to be more than 5 to 10% of your net income if you're an active trader. Okay, so that's an interesting approach that I haven't heard before, Dojo. Thanks for answering. No problem. Thanks for asking. Yeah, that's an interesting thought, Dojo. And I think that I want to go and do some math now. based on that. But I think that you might have a good idea there. Like, this goes back to this other thing about, going full time. Obviously, everybody wants to trade full time, but it seems to me with the way that markets are that most people are not going to make enough money and are going to be consistent enough to really be able to do it full time. And so Combo has his first target at 29.67.5, which is down there a little bit. I don't see anything sitting on it. I am noticing, do you see here on the Vista chart how there's always some orders following the mini, a couple of ticks out? You see this line here and this line here? It might just be me, but it seems like that those are a little bit further away than they normally are. Those are 10 points away. They're 40 ticks away. Now there is this size though at 64. Where is that? Let's see what it looks like. 64. It's not a ton. It's just. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm looking at the micro future, so I'm looking at the micro. Okay, 64. Okay, so there are some 500 lots down in here in this area. But there's also some at 60. Surprisingly, not anything at 55, but there is at 50. Most people are idiots too. Well, my take on it, what I have discovered in life is that at one time or another, everybody is an idiot. Humans are just not. I don't know why it is that we have a hard time seeing this, but humans are just not what we think we are. We are not as smart as we think. Everybody thinks that they're so logical and that they're right and they make the right choices and they do all of these things. I think that one of the biggest benefits from trading is it forces you to face reality, because you're going to start trading, and one of the first things that you're going to learn is that you are not that good at it yet. Lucas says you got a nice trade going there. I'm pretty happy with this. Let's see how. I'm having a hard time holding it because we're coming to 8:30. I'm thinking that maybe I should just take it here. In fact, yes, that's what I'll do. So now that it is 8:30, remember I have my video published now. We should go and pimp it a little bit. But I did a couple of new things on it. Recorded it a different way. Did some B-roll film. And it's about the debate, so it's a pretty important particular point. So I would really appreciate it. You go and check it out. Let's see here. Where is it showing up? Don't see it yet. It should be there. There we go. Here we go. Oh, it says, do I need to wait? YouTube doesn't think that it's 8:30 yet. That's the problem. Let me see here. There's a great video on YouTube of Benjamin Graham on the psychology of human misjudgment. It's really good. I will look that up. Thank you, Dojo. Hold it for the bingo. I wish I could, but the thing that I'm concerned about is, okay, cool. I'm happy. That puts me at 40 on the day. Trading macros. Well, 38 if you count in the commissions. But I'm happy about that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm just, there's too much of a probability that we're going to get a pullback here, and I don't want to be sitting here at 29.73 and saying, oh, I could have had 29.70. You know what I mean? Even though I do think ultimately it's going to go down to the, it's going to fill the gap probably. I think that we're going to get down to 29.55. Can't you leave it on and place some auto stops? You know, I could do that. I've never really tested that. And I would need to make sure that I have a way on my phone to do something with it. You know what I mean? And maybe have my wife watch it or something. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with just walking away though. No, I don't think so. I think I did the right thing. Like a plus 70 trade is pretty good. I do need to look into it though, because I would really like to start swinging micros if it ever gives me a good spot to do it. So I'm just wondering, why is this video? It thinks it's private. Why is that? July 1st at 8th. Oh, that's why. I know it's wrong. Okay. Edit. And just go edit. Visibility. Their new way of doing things is in YouTube is like dumb. And can I just click it from here? Yes, that's the way you do it. Okay. I set it to be 8:30 p.m. instead of 8:30 a.m. Okay, so we'll just put it as public now. Oh, I forgot that we were long in the treasuries, huh? Oh wow, they really just now they really broke through. Well, there's another $10. Oh well. What does Kim say here? I've needed to go to the store for 30 minutes. One contract left, moved stop to break even. Good job, dude. It's a good trade. ISO, he's got a pretty good, scaling out strategy. See, I like the way that I did that one. I'm kind of sitting here wishing that I had the third contract. I could have taken the profits at up here, and then this one I could let run. But I still think, well, so for starters, that little flush down to 67 was a little bit much. Just looking at the CCI and everything, and the level 2 changes seems to indicate that we'll probably turn a little bit. Yeah, we'll probably turn a little bit. So it's still the problem that I'm worried about, that I don't want it to get up to like 72, 73 and then have to be going in. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so if I refresh this page now. Yes. Okay, so guys, I would really, really appreciate it if you would go and watch this video and, give me a comment on what you thought about the new production values, and also answer the question about who you thought won the debate. That's always fun too. But oh, it already came back. I can move that. Actually, no, I'm supposed to do it like that. Boom. Anyways, but yeah, because I did things very different, and I want to know what you guys think. And I also, you leave the comment and you like it and everything, and that will push the video a lot. And here in the next hour is like the most important time. So if, here, I'm going to stop the stream here in a second, and we can do that. I don't see any more comments. Again, some good discussion. We've got a couple of new guys in the past few weeks. You guys are great. So I always want to highlight that. And we will be here tomorrow. I know some of you are on vacation, so if I don't see you for the rest of the week, happy 4th of July. But we will be here tomorrow, Wednesday, Friday. So in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.